They're the 4 best or maybe worst words in sports. Win or go home. This is the first round of the 4A, 3A, 2A, and 1A Texas high school football playoffs. These are the picks. Welcome into the picks presented by Visit Arlington, your guide to the Texas high school football weekend. My name is Greg Tepper of Dave Campbell's Texas Football and TexasFootball.com. Thank you so much for tuning in, and here we are. We've made it to the Texas high school football playoffs, at least for Class 4A, 3A, 2A, and 1A. Remember, 6A and 5A are 4 weeks behind, and so we've got a separate picks video spotlighting the biggest games in the state there. But hey, it's win or go home for the small schools in Texas high school football. It's an exciting time of year. What's that? Oh, it appears that my predictions are scrolling at the bottom of the screen. That's right, I have the courage to predict every single UIL Texas high school football playoff game this weekend. That's right, I guarantee I got at least one of these right. But there are massive games everywhere you look across the Texas high school football playoffs. We start in Conroe. 7:30 p.m. Friday night at Moorhead Stadium in Conroe. It's a 3A Division I by-district showdown as the Rockdale Tigers take on the Columbus Cardinals. What are the keys to this matchup? Key number 1, prepare for fireworks. Look, I think this is going to be a high-scoring game, specifically because I think both of these offenses are really, really good. When you take a look at Columbus, Coach Matt Schobel has these Cardinals rolling right now behind their quarterback, Ty Thomas, and an outstanding running game led by Kion Hurd. They're averaging more than 36 points per game. On the Rockdale side, about the same story, averaging more than 41 points a game behind breakout star quarterback Kobe Mitchell and stud running back Cameron Valdez. These are two teams that are going to light it up offensively. And by the way, both defenses, okay, but I think that they may be susceptible to these high-powered offenses. So, if this turns into a shootout, who has the advantage? Key number 2, the third quarter. You ever go through, start researching something and come across like a surprising fact that you can't really figure out why that's a fact? That's what happened to me as I was looking up and trying to figure out exactly how to diagnose this Columbus versus Rockdale game. Because, look, both of these teams start off fast. Okay, the first quarter, first half, they tend to be outstanding. And actually, they finish really strong as well. The fourth quarter has been arguably their best quarter of the year for both squads. But both teams kind of struggle in the third quarter. I've tried to mull it over in my head as to why that's the case. I haven't come up with a great reason, but the bottom line is that if you take a look at the numbers, the third quarter is the weakest quarter for both Rockdale and Columbus. So really, if one of those teams can just come out of halftime just pretty good, they could have an advantage. So who can win that third quarter? And key number 3, bellwether. So when you take a look at the Texas high school football bracket in 3A Division I, specifically in Region 3, we don't really know what to expect. And a lot of that is because we don't really know how to judge the districts that these two teams came out of. Columbus is the second place finisher in District 12 3A Division I. That district was won by Hallettsville, and seems like a pretty good district, right? You got a bunch of really solid teams. I think Columbus is a really good squad. Rockdale is the third place finisher out of District 11 3A Division I, which was wild. Teams just beat up on one another. You had Cameron, Yo, and Troy, teams that we projected to be outstanding squads this year, missed the playoffs out of that district. And so we don't really know what these two districts are really about, the quality of these districts, because are they a bunch of teams that are just evenly matched but are just kind of mediocre? Or are they actually a bunch of really good teams that just kind of beat up on one another? We don't really know, and this is our first test. I think what this game looks like is going to, in fact, shape the rest of the region in 3A Division I. So, when the dust settles, what have we learned about the shape of Region 3? Who am I picking? I'm going with Columbus. The reason I'm picking the Cardinals is because of defense. I trust their defense to come up with a couple of stops in this game. I also think that the balance they have offensively with Ty Thomas and Kion Hurd is going to lend a very, very good hand to them getting to the area round. Now look, Rockdale's explosive, and I think you can make a real argument that this is going to be the most explosive spread team that the Cardinals have seen thus far this season, and they're going to challenge them. But I'm not sure that Rockdale is going to be able to find a way to slow down this Columbus attack. I think this game is close, and I think it does tell us a lot about what Region 3 looks like. But I think Columbus brings home a victory. Let's go to 4A Division II. 7:30 p.m. Friday night at Driscoll Stadium in Crockett. The Jasper Bulldogs take on the China Spring Cougars in an outstanding by-district matchup. And this is an interesting test, I think, for China Spring. Jasper is a state-ranked squad. Their one loss on the year is to Carthage, and they played them, I would say, exceptionally tough. They run the ball really, really well, especially with their bruising running back, Carl Limbrick. You know, China Spring does the same thing. Emmanuel Abdallah, their running back, is a superstar. I think he's got a 500-yard game under his belt this year. But the thing about that has me a little bit worried about China Spring is they have had trouble in the past stopping the run. If you go back to their two losses on the year, to Waco Connolly and to Salado, they got kind of beat up on the ground. So can they find a way to slow down this bruising rushing attack for Jasper? I think the Bulldogs have the edge here, but I think this game comes down to the wire. 7 o'clock Thursday night at Bulldog Stadium in Borger. It's a 2A Division I by-district matchup between the Stratford Elks and the Clarendon Broncos, two teams that I think are better than their record indicates. Stratford's 5-5, but their opponents that they've lost to are combined 39-10. I mean, that's pretty heady stuff. On the Clarendon side, it's pretty similar. They're 7-3. The three losses are to Wellington, Wheeler, and Vega. Okay, those are pretty good losses, I would say. A lot of attention, I think, is going to be paid to the outstanding dual-threat quarterback for Stratford and Trevor Bell, but I think this game comes down to who can run the ball better. Is it Clarendon with Sylvester Ballard, or is it the sophomore running back for Stratford in Zane Burr? I think this game is close. I think it comes down to who can make one or two defensive stops, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think Stratford brings home a close win. And 7:30 p.m. Friday night in Colorado City, it is a 1A Division I by-district matchup in the six-man ranks as the Ira Bulldogs take on the Westbrook Wildcats and talk about a pedigree disparity, at least recently. Westbrook is making their first playoff appearance since 2001. Since then, Ira has made the playoffs 15 times. Yeah, they have been pretty successful, and the champions of District 7 1A Division I think, have a chance to make a deep run if they can get past this very tough first-round matchup. I think Holden Rios, their outstanding do-it-all athlete, and Cody McCowan can lead the way for this Wildcats team. For Westbrook, it's the same song, different verse, which is defense. They have one of the best defenses in six-man football. Can they stand up to their first playoff game in almost 20 years? It's going to be a lot of fun. I think Hunter Rich has a big game for Westbrook. I think the Wildcats get the win. Those are far from the only big games in the first round of the Texas High School Football Small School Playoffs. Remember, all my picks are scrolling at the bottom of the screen, so if I don't mention it out loud, you can check down here. Let's get to lightning round. In 4A Division I like Canyon Lake over Lavernia, and give me Canyon to take down Wichita Falls Hershey. Lindale gets past Viter, and Melissa takes down Dallas Carter. 4A Division II now, Geronimo Navarro takes down Cuero. I like Graham to get by Van Alstyne, and give me Pleasant Grove over Bullard. 3A Division I now, I like Gladewater over Mount Vernon in what may be the best first-round matchup in the state. I like Jourdanton to beat Comfort. I'm going with Jim Ned over Paradise. 3A Division II now, I like East Bernard over Lexington, but keep an eye on that one. Lexington's certainly got the ceiling to pull off the upset, and I think Canadian gets off to a good start with a win over Coahoma. Staying in 3A Division II, I like Holiday over Millsap, and give me Newton over Harleton. 2A Division I now, I like San Saba to beat Forsan, and give me Lindsay over Wolf City. Shelbyville squeaks by Beckville in one of the best games of the week. I like Flatonia over Ozona. 2A Division II now, Christoval beats Burton. I like Hull Dicetta over West Sabine, and Munster beats Santo. And there's great action in six-man football. I like Borden County over Kroll in 1A Division I. And down in 1A Division II, I'm going with Balmorhea over Lorraine and Cherokee over Brooksmith. And those are the picks. I picked every single UIL Texas High School football playoff game. I either said it out loud or it was scrolling at the bottom of the screen. So if you missed it, you can just rewind. That's the magic of YouTube. And so then you can tell me, what am I wrong about? Leave comments down below. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Follow us on Twitter at DCTF. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, instagram.com/Dave Campbell's. And of course, see us at texasfootball.com, where you can find complete coverage of the 2020 UIL Texas High School Football Playoffs at texasfootball.com/playoffs. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the first round of the Texas High School Football Playoffs. Be safe, wear a mask. We'll see you.